I just had the thought, and I've decided to record the thought while I was having it. So we have the dismissive avoidant personality, and then we have the anxious preoccupied. And usually it's, typically sometimes it's mostly women who are anxious avoidant and masculine men who are dismissive, but it really does depend on the energy within the relationship, how that shows up, because I know we have all been in situations where we really just were not that into somebody, and so we were dismissive avoidant. But I think it's a little bit different, because when you just don't care about somebody, when you just don't like them, you don't really have any need to engage with them. And that's different than what's really going on with the dismissive avoidant. And the dismissive avoidant is truly wanting connection. They're truly wanting to be intimate with somebody. They want to be close to somebody, and that scares the fuck out of them. So it's not really necessarily the same as what it was like if you just don't like somebody and they're trying to push their agenda on you as far as getting you to like them. But so the thought that just came to me was about I was reading a post in a group the other day of it's an attachment trauma group. So I was reading a post, and the guy was saying that someone was saying that the dismissive avoidants actually do have feelings, and they do actually long for their partners, to the partner that they've pushed away. And he was like, I just don't get it, like how she can go months without having any conversation and reaching out to me, and it's always up to me to do the guiding of the relationship. And somebody else came on there and said, they don't really take an active role in creating the relationship, because then they don't have as much skin in the game per se. But when you really start evaluating this from a perspective of childhood trauma, and you learn that a lot of these people decided really early on that they just were not going to get their needs met, and the occasional opportunities that they had to get their needs met were few and far between. And so as much as so you have to really go back to them being an infant, a child, even a toddler, and them having this, really strong desire to connect to their parent, but for whatever reason, their parent's not available. And so they were very infrequently had their needs met. Now, they craved having their needs met. Their survival, depended on them getting touched and held and comforted. From a neurological and a sociological perspective and a biological perspective, they required that for survival. So of course it created a longing in them, but it was met so infrequently that they pretty much at a very early age decided that they were going to get their own, they were just going to take care of themselves. They were just not going to depend on anybody else to take care of them, because they just could not count on when it was going to happen, and how long it was going to last. And so even when they were excited to have the comfort and be close to the parent, or even later in life being close to a partner, they cut themselves off at a certain place because they're like, I can't depend on this staying here forever. And if I do depend on it staying here forever, I'm going to be really hurt when it leaves. And so that's what creates this pushing away, but also longing, because even as a child, you know, when you just sort of resign yourself to you're not going to get your needs met, you're still laying there wanting to have your needs met, praying for it, craving it, desiring it. Doesn't mean that you don't want it. It just means that at some point you decided it wasn't worth the risk to get it, because when you did get it, it just didn't last very long. And so you weren't going to depend on it and become not conditioned to it, but become expecting it. And so I've just gotten to a place where I'm just trying to be like super compassionate for men, because a lot of the men are dismissive avoidant. I mean, it's not universal. There's, I'm sure there's women that are that way too. But if you can try to just have some compassion and understand that it's running at a subconscious level. It is not something they're doing on purpose to hurt you, because they're actually hurting themselves more. And that's just what I was thinking about, because I just imagine my partner being just a little child, and because I know how much it hurts me as a woman, and when I know that pain of just wanting someone to come and take care of me, and I understand that that's the same level of intensity of wanting to be cared for that the dismissive avoidant has. They have just shut it down so they don't get hurt. And us anxious preoccupieds have not shut it down. So we continue to get hurt. But, it's just really learning to have compassion. Just having compassion and understand that we're all just wounded little boys and little girls, and we're in human big bodies, and we're playing life according to society's rules. But inside of us is a deep, deep, deep craving to be seen and to be heard and to be accepted.